Amanda the Adventurer 2 was an absolute blast, which showed us so much of the lore, yet left so many questions left unanswered, which will be left for Chapter 3 to answer. So in this video, we will go over what we will see in Chapter 3. Through unlocking the secret tapes, that's when we really only discover the real story and what has been going on. The masked figure was unveiled to be Joanne, one of the missing children's sister, who has been investigating his disappearance and trying to find her. We get two different endings, where the fate of Joanne is slightly different. In the normal ending, she tries to break all the tapes to free some sort of blue floating energy, but the monster version of Amanda appears and pins her down, stopping her. This gives Riley, the protagonist of the game, just enough time to escape and go to a secret underground tunnel or bunker, narrowly escaping the monster. In this ending, Joanne doesn't seem to get hurt that bad and just becomes incapacitated. But in the secret ending, Joanne has a much worse fate. If we find the secret voice recording of Kate, Riley's aunt, we see Joanne becoming possessed, as if losing her control. That's when we get a glimpse of the woolly monster, which we only hear how it destroys Joanne. It's not really clear here to what really happens, but by the sounds of it, Joanne gets ripped apart. So in Chapter 3, we will probably learn what really happened to Joanne. Did she actually transform into a monster herself? Did the monster kill her, or will she somehow manage to survive? It was a little underwhelming to how the masked figure was made out to be a major character by the end of Chapter 1. But in Chapter 2, we just got the final dialogue from her, which only would reveal some of the true lore if the secret ending was unlocked. Moving on to the opossum creature that we encounter in the new chapter, this character was never mentioned until very recently. The opossum creature is a newly introduced character in the show, whom Amanda and Wooly didn't even know about. It's only till the very end, in one of the tapes called Do You Feel Safe, when we discover the opossum creature is the embodiment of Jordan, as he goes to the camera and tries to communicate with Joanne, calling out for her name. It's a little unclear to how Jordan was transferred into this world and why he didn't just disappear like the other kids, but whatever happened, Jordan very recently found his way into the show. He disappeared 2 years ago, so maybe when Riley started rewatching the tapes, that's when Jordan could find his way into the show. So what can we expect from Chapter 3 for Jordan? It is very possible Amanda and Wooly will learn about the opossum's true identity and possibly befriend him. The opossum seems a little clumsy and as if trying to get a hang of his new buddy, but as he hears the voice of Joanne, he tries his best to find it within himself to speak and call out for her name. So Jordan could potentially get saved and find a way out of the Amanda the Adventurer show if Amanda or Rebecca manages to do that as well. Another big plot twist to expect would be to discover Aunt Kate is still alive and not dead, despite what we have been told and led to believe. The will letter written in Chapter 1 implies that Aunt Kate has died. Her voice recording clearly shows that she was involved in a car crash, and even Joanne says that she is dead. But the catch is, none of these are canon evidence providing that she has died. Her will letter was written in case that she is not there anymore to give it to Riley herself. So maybe she is simply in hiding and that is why she couldn't go back to the house and retrieve the letter. This letter was meant to be given to Riley just in case she dies in the future, but doesn't necessarily mean that she would. The voice recording only can display how she had a car crash, but it doesn't really prove that she died from it or not. And finally, Joanne says that Kate died because of her, but in reality, she is only assuming that she died and doesn't know for sure. Equally, Kate thought Joanne is dead, even though she is alive up to the ending. Joanne and Kate had a last encounter where Joanne starts shouting at her, demanding to get the tapes from her so that she can destroy them and free her brother, Jordan. That is when they get intercepted by Hameln and the monster appears, with Kate running away and getting in her car, leading to the car crash. After their separation, they both think that the other person is dead. Kate thinks Joanne is dead as she sees the monster and Hameln staff members, so it is safe to say that she assumed Joanne wouldn't survive that. Accordingly, Joanne sees how Kate gets in her car and runs away as the Hameln staff and the monster go after her, also assuming that she wouldn't survive that. So it is very possible that Kate could be alive and that we will encounter her in the underground secret compartment or tunnels. This also would mean Joanne could potentially survive as well, at least in the normal ending when she is pinned by Amanda's monster, as she already had an experience with a monster and survived the encounter. Now the biggest mystery as to what we will see beneath the ground, under the hatch door. First off, if Kate died in the car crash and recorded her voice on the cassette while driving, how did the voice recording cassette find itself in her office? Someone must have retrieved it from the car crash site and took it back to the library. But even if someone did that for her, why would they do it in the first place? It is very likely Kate could have survived the crash and took the cassette back to the library. Also, who built this underground bunker or tunnel system in a secret room in Kate's office? Most likely, it must have been her and her colleagues, who possibly continued their investigation in secrecy and built this hidden bunker just in case of emergency. So maybe Kate herself is hiding there and hoping to see Riley. According to how the game has been playing out, we will most likely find some more tapes which have recorded the live broadcast of Amanda the Adventurer show. Riley even managed to take a tape with her before going to the bunker. What could be in this tape and what's the significance of it? Could this tape allow Riley free Amanda? Is this the key piece to her freedom? Also, through my last video, I theorized that the mysterious patient we see in a secret clinic could very likely be Rebecca, who is in a coma with her brain only showing activities. The question is, will Riley manage freeing Rebecca's soul and helping her reunite with her body, which is in a coma, and would that have any long-lasting effects or symptoms? Something that I would personally like to find out is to learn Wooly's true identity. Wooly has been playing the very cheerful, happy and helpful supporting character to Amanda, to the point of being oblivious to the dark secret of the show, that it is simply a facade and not a real show, a trap where children are meant to watch so demons could steal their soul. Why is Wooly acting so cheerfully and going along with it? It is kind of obvious Wooly, despite looking like the good guy, is in fact a sinister demon himself, keeping a close eye on Amanda so she doesn't speak out of turn. Even Amanda in the Do You Feel Safe tape says that she used to trust Wooly, but not anymore. Could Wooly actually be a demon in sheep's clothing, and who could he really be? This is something that we will hopefully find out in Chapter 3. Something we learned from previous chapters and videos is that the show has been shelved and not broadcasting any longer. The show ran for a long time and many disappearances were linked to it. So the question is, where is Hameln now? Is it a public organization now, or has it gone into hiding? What are they up to now, and what has become of them? They seemingly were very successful, achieving their sinister goals of making contact with demons, all in the expense of giving away the souls of children. Are they more powerful than before now? Do they have any supernatural powers? Clearly, we can see they have manifestation of real monsters in the real world, which they can use at their will. They have the equivalent monster to Amanda and one to Wooly. There could be many more monsters which they have manifested and brought to existence who could do their dirty work for them. That could mean any political assassinations, any key or important figure assassination, or taking down governments, militaries even. Having an army of these monsters could easily help them take over countries or the entire world. We know that they have a strange connection to a specific cult which was practiced up until medieval times, which suddenly went into hiding. So now we need to learn what was their real intentions and who they really were. Something more interesting to learn about would be the way that the children disappeared and where they really went. Through a video, we see a child gravitated towards the Amanda the Adventurer show, suddenly disappearing in a split second. A kid that was called Lauren. Is it possible demons are summoned to take them, or are they sucked into the show? If they are sucked into the show, who are they? and what do they embody? With Rebecca, she was taken a different way to the other kids. Some sort of surgery was performed on her, which led to her embody the mascot of the show. Jordan, another kid who disappeared, becomes the possum in the show, a character which is clearly not intended to be there, but someone who manages to somehow find his way into the show. What could be the fate of the other kids? Could they embody the different inanimate objects such as trees, houses, and items? These things have one thing in common: having eyes at times, aesthetic expression and emotion, often being sad or happy. In the very beginning of the Amanda the Adventurer series, the very first tapes that we watch show us someone trying to burn and destroy the tapes, but some sort of unseen energy or power stopping him from doing so. It's unclear if this mysterious person also recorded the live broadcast and had copies of the show himself, or found these tapes from somewhere else. Whatever it is, despite these tapes being recorded off TV, they seem to possess power and the essence of Rebecca and some other children and demons. These tapes are important, that the monsters even try to protect them and stop Joanne from destroying them. However, she manages to destroy one tape, which lets out a blue floating energy force. What could this energy force be? Could it represent a trapped soul which was unleashed? Could it be the soul or embodiment of one of the children? If so, why are they trapped in the recordings of the live broadcast and not the main show? Maybe after the show was shelved and cancelled, the only way these souls could survive was through clinging onto the recordings, and that's why they value them so much. So maybe Kate and Riley, or Joanne, if she is still alive, could somehow free the trapped souls and then destroy the tapes. These are all the mysteries and questions I found, which still need exploring and answering to, which will most likely be covered in Chapter 3. And that is it for this video, folks. This brings us to the series of Amanda the Adventurer 2 videos. I truly hope that you enjoyed them. If you did, make sure to stay tuned for more different videos by hitting on the subscribe button and the notification bell. As always, it's been your host Star. Thanks for being here, and I will see you on the next one. Have a fantastic day.